Usually, how we start the podcast is I ask, "What's your name? How many kids do you have, and what do you do?"
Absolutely. My name's Ivan Ho. I'm the CEO and founder of Fit Factory Fitness in Toronto. I have one daughter. She's going to be 5 years old in 2 weeks. I couldn't be
Amazing,
more excited.
awesome, man. So let's get right into it. Like your business, man. What do you do? I know you have a studio.
Yep.
Funny enough, I used to work at your studio, and that's where I met my wife. So
Yes.
it's kind of surreal to have this all come together and be here with you today. So let's hear it, man. Like, why did you start the company,
Yep.
and where is it at now?
For sure. First of all, you and Elise, such a beautiful relationship. I'm
Thanks,
so happy
buddy.
for you guys. Love at first sweat.
There we go.
Fit Factory Fitness started in 2012. We were the first boutique fitness studio in Toronto. This was at a time where it was just big box gyms, massive health clubs. There wasn't a community-based focus group training. So we were the first ones to create this training, and we opened at Yonge and Wellesley. Since then, we've expanded to 2 locations. We have our headquarters at King and Spadina and our second location at Yonge and Eglinton. So we've got 2 awesome communities. We transformed lives by specializing in strength training. We help them get in shape, build muscle, burn fat through our strength program and also our high intensity training.
Awesome, man. I've done your classes. They're absolutely wild. Very different than like what those box gyms do. And I remember bringing my buddy Karn into one, and he like, I think I
Love
brought
Karn.
him to the ones where you have like a 90-minute course, like an intense one, and
Yeah.
he ended up like yakking. He couldn't handle it. And this is a guy who like goes to the gym all the time and like couldn't handle it. But I love everything that you guys are about, and I love that it's a community-based gym, and
Great.
like everybody's truly like a mini family there.
Yes.
And even the instructors, they're all amazing. I love them.
Yes, that's what it's about, man. Having a good group of people around you.
That's awesome. And so you had King Street,
Yep.
and then you ended up opening a second location in
Yep.
Midtown, during COVID. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And then you had a daughter.
Yes.
So how do you manage having a business and having a daughter while living life?
For sure. It's all about balance. And it was a learning curve for me. At first, the first 6 months, I was still really in the business, and COVID turned out to be a blessing. Really, it really allowed me to develop as a father, to be present for her. So after 6 months, she was born. That's when COVID happened. Obviously, work from home. You end up spending a lot of time with your child, which was the biggest blessing. But it was still about how do I balance a business, keeping it stable, keeping it alive, and still serving my community and my clients, and then being a present father despite all the noise that was happening, in the world. But, it required discipline, consistency, and being very, very organized with my time. So it allows me to be present in both the business and to my daughter as a father.
Amazing. And the fact that you're able to pivot so fast, I remember, one day you're just having people come in for indoor classes and then switch to reality. I think it was like, what was it, Zoom?
We did Zoom online.
Training.
Yeah.
Like, how did you just pivot so fast? Like,
Yeah. Great question. We just always, in our 12 years of business, just put the clients first. How can we serve our clients, our members in our community? So day one lockdown, the team got together and was like, how do we keep operating and helping them in this challenging environment? And Instagram Live was like just rolled out months before, and we were the first ones to jump on it. Free workouts for the whole community. And I think we did like morning, lunch, dinner, and it was insanely rewarding, just serving everybody. And people jumped on from all over the world, tuning into all the different times that we had. So it was wonderful to just, do that for people during a time like that.
wild. How scary was it to like have to pivot while being a new father? Like, and I'm just talking about financially, your business did a turn.
Yeah.
I actually don't know whether it was like positive or not, but not knowing what was going to happen and having a newborn, that must have been like scary.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just with everybody, uncertainty was the word. You wake up to uncertainty. You're going to sleep with uncertainty. And for me as a father and as a business owner, was just like, how can I manage and control what I could, and not allow the things that I could not control affect me mentally and physically. So it's just really one day at a time. What could I do today that could move the needle forward in the business? How can I serve the clients? And then how can I be there for my family and make sure I provide for them? And to be honest, I didn't have the answer. I really just took it one day at a time. I was very patient with it. Had to adapt, had to pivot very quickly. And a lot of things looking back, I wish I could do things differently, but you can. But it's lessons learned, and it's made us stronger. It made me stronger as a father and as a business owner, entrepreneur, and it made our team stronger as well. So,
do you feel like are you still do you still have a lot of risk in your business? Do you still take a lot of risks now that you are a father and she's 5? Like, or are you just less risky?
Yeah, definitely a little bit more risk averse.
Okay.
I think as a business to grow to scale, you do have to push the pace. But I definitely, it's not just about success in business now. It's about creating a legacy for my daughter and also making sure we can grow and scale the biz. So just, being mindful of, what it means to have a meaningful life, as an entrepreneur and as a father, which is the greatest honor for every man. And just really balancing that in my decision making on a day to day.
That's hard, man. Because even like me with my business, I don't know when to, pull the trigger and when to say, okay, that's a little bit too risky and that's too much. But because you just never know what will happen. Like sometimes taking risks are very rewarding, but they come with, not turning out the way you wanted it. So like, do you go through like a checklist of whether or not you think, like, how do you determine whether doing this for your business is the right move when it's a financial decision? Like even opening up your second location during COVID, and, some people would just say, oh, I'm giving back the keys to the landlord and that's it. And, having a kid, you need a lot of balls, man. And I give it up to you to be able to do that.
Thanks. I think it comes down to understanding your purpose. What is your specially God-given unique talents and gifts that you have, and how are you using those talents to serve, the world? And for me, it's always just been, having like fitness change my life. So the way I see my life is just, how do I give back through everything I've learned? And when things got tough, I would double down on fitness.
Yeah.
I don't back off. I might give myself a day off here and there, but I double down when things get tough. And when business got tough, I would double down when life gets tough. Pandemic, same thing. So that's my way of giving back. And as long as I am clear on my purpose, I think I will always do what's going to push me forward to serve that purpose. And with the family, that's where the balance comes in. And I'm very present now in my decision making of saying, okay, I have a family I have to support. I have a daughter I will constantly need to provide for. So understanding that I have this on the front end that I'm pursuing, but also this stability that I have to create for my family is how I make the decision. I know it's a lot, but you listen to your gut, your gut is your second brain, and it knows you better than you do sometimes. So trust your gut.
Sometimes I just say, like, what's the worst that can happen if you go with this decision? You're going to lose some money. How much money? How long will it take to recover? I guess recovery is the key, right? To understand. But sometimes, I have a hard time pulling the trigger now that I'm a daughter. Is it fair to spend this much money, let's just say, on influencer marketing when it can go towards your daughter's whatever, education or whatever? Obviously, we have education fund and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like, even to go out and do stuff. So it's a mental battle, I think, that I face. And even like you mentioned how important the gym is. I have a big problem mentally sticking with the gym. And I know going to the gym is the biggest medicine that you can ask for. And I don't know, like last month I was going to the gym consistently and it was great, but it just one thing that just, I'm exhausted, man, my business, like I don't want to work out after I come home. I was waking up at 4:30 and starting like living a full day within a couple hours.
Amazing.
And then it just wasn't sustainable for me. It was affecting me. I was just becoming like agitated, exhausted, like not getting enough sleep. So I guess my question is like, how do I overcome those mental challenges of just not wanting to work out after the gym. And here's the thing, man, I know how important it is because you want your daughter not to have a dad because you're stuck in bedridden,
Yeah.
or you die early, or you have diseases where you're taken away from her. So my mentality has changed ever since having a kid, but I still cannot unlock it to say, no, you have to go to the gym every day, at least every other day.
Well, can I challenge you to rephrase your mindset? Because I think you're doing a lot of things right, and you're trying to figure out what the perfect consistency is. It's what type of example, what kind of role model do you want to set for your children?
Yeah.
And as a father, I think you are that example, that role model that they look up to the most. So I look at my life. My father had set that example for me, and I've seen him how he, treats fitness and his routine. So you got to have discipline.
Okay.
You got to be consistent, and you got to carve out time. So 4:30 a.m. wake up. If that works for you, great. If you are put down the kid and then focus on your fitness, and that works for your schedule, great. But that has to come first, because when you take care of yourself first, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything else will take care of itself. So that is actually the most important part of your day, because when you're working out and you're putting time on your fitness, you've got your dopamine, you've got your endorphins, you've got all the good hormones in your body to help you make the right decisions in your day-to-day. And physically, you're just there. And you're setting an example for your children. So double down.
I guess it's like a mental, truly, I feel like it's a mental thing because, we all have the same amount of hours.
Yeah.
You have a business, you need to sleep too. And it's not like, our kids go to bed by themselves, and it's not like dinner is being cooked by itself. And it's not like they're getting picked up and dropped off from a magical taxi.
Mm-hmm.
You go to work, you come back, and you still have to be with them presently. I just don't know how. I guess it's a discipline thing, like you said, but I just don't know how you do it. Like, you must be a robot underneath there, because truthfully, man, and maybe that's what I have to stop doing, is saying that phrase and comparing myself to like other people of how they do it. And, like Nike, just do it. But some days it's just like, fuck, man, I just want that extra hour of sleep.
Don't beat yourself too hard.
Yeah.
I think it's a journey. It's a process, right? So you're going through your journey, and there's going to be ups and downs. And I think you're going to have months where you're on point and you crush it. And there are weeks, life's going to get hectic and it gets away from you. So don't beat yourself too up. I would just say create a consistent schedule.
Realistic.
Just that you can commit to. And it's just, you're doing it no matter what. There's no excuse. You're not hitting the snooze button.
Yeah.
You're going to get out of bed. You're going to take care of yourself, take care of your body before your wife, before your children even get up. And you win the morning, you win the day.
I like it.
And you just plug that in.
That's it.
Can't skip the appointment.
Yeah, that's true, man. It's definitely, I guess, like an exercise you have to do with yourself.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get out of that funk if you're ever in the funk. And that's why I like these podcasts. I tell people it's like my therapy.
Yeah.
Because how often we would never really talk unless I see you.
Right.
And, so it's a great way of doing it. But you mentioned a lot about how your kids see you, and like, how do you incorporate like even exercise and just eating right with your daughter? Like, how do you do that? Because the easy way is, making chicken fingers and giving your kid, junk food and stuff. How what do you do? And what does that look like for Penelope and stuff?
Yeah. Penelope, fortunately spends significant amount of time with her mother. And I know she's very good with her routine and her schedule. The time that I spend with her, I focus both physical aspects. So we're always doing some type of physical activity. And kids are kids. They're going to love the junk food. They're going to love the candies, but it's all in moderation.
Sure.
But always the big meals, important meals, the breakfast, the lunch and dinners, healthy portions. We're eating veggies, we're eating salads, we're eating fruits. But you can have a candy and chocolate bar here and there. But it's just understanding balance, preaching them balance, and instilling the consistency.
Okay.
We're not going to sit at home and watch TV and Netflix and cartoons all day.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. We're going to go outside. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to hit the bike. We're going to do something. And I think having that, drilled into their lifestyle at a very young age is very important, because they'll carry that with them throughout their adulthood.
We got to do a collaboration where we do some sort of dad boot camp.
Yeah,
I'm
daddy
telling you,
boot
man.
camp.
Yeah, I can already picture it, man.
Drop and give me 5 kids.
Yeah, so, well, maybe not the kids, but at least for us dads, man, like to just be around with other people who,
Yeah.
we face the same challenges and stuff, and
Yes.
get us out of our houses and
Yeah.
able to do some sort of
Yeah.
fitness routine.
A dad support group. A daddy boot camp.
That's
like you
it,
said.
man. I think we could do something cool.
Sure.
One day in the
Down.
summer, we'll do that.
Let's do it.
That's pretty awesome, man. So you mentioned your dad a lot. How much of an impact does your dad have on your parenting skills? And like, how are you taking things from what you learned from your dad to your daughter, or are you tweaking a lot of it? Like,
Yes. Great question. My family values are, very different than I think North American values. I was born in Hong Kong, raised in Hong Kong. Our values was discipline and hard work and, academics. I think coming in here, being raised, in Canada, I've learned that there are more important values that you can preach to your children, having open communication, just having quality time, and not just so driven and focused all the time. And just the balance of life, work, school, and just being good humans as well. Spiritually, I've gone on my own journey. So faith is something that I instill in Penelope, in my daughter's life. So, we go to church,
Awesome.
On the Sundays that I do get her. And that's a big part of our life. So the values are still there, but they've evolved. And I think it's just understanding, what your purpose is in your life and what type of values that you want to grow up raising your children and instilling those on a consistent level.
do you speak to your parents a lot about your day-to-day as a father? Are they supportive, or because I know some parents, especially the old school ones, they're not tolerable with some of our complaints and stuff. So like, how does your family support you in being a dad? And do you go to your parents and say, hey, like, having a hard time?
Yeah, great question. My parents are separated, so my dad is involved in his own ways, and my
Cool.
mom's involved in very nurturing, caring, loving ways. My dad's the type of dad that's like, you got this.
Cool.
Go and do it. That's great. Handle it. My mom's more attentive, so she'll help me as much as she can. At the end of the day, I think, being a father is a journey, and you get better as a dad. You didn't get a dad training. You didn't go to daddy university.
Yeah.
You learn as you go, right? But it's like I said, it's greatest honor, greatest responsibility. And as long as every month, every year, you're becoming better as a father, and you're holding yourself to higher standards, and you're sharing those standards and values to your children, you're an awesome dad. And I feel like dads don't give themselves enough credit.
Yeah.
We just go, we work.
Yeah.
Like, we got to stop and just give ourselves a pat on the back,
I like it.
of all the great work that we do.
I like it.
We honestly don't get enough love.
Yeah.
Like Father's Day, we get like,
Yeah.
a little card. Mother's Day, like
Yeah.
full-blown presents and gifts
Totally.
and celebrations. But, we are the foundation. We hold it down for our families, and we don't give enough credit to ourselves.
That's like one of the reasons why I created Daddy Day Club, is like, I felt like there was a missing key to the gifting experience for fathers.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to focus on like brand packaging. Cause like, if you go to the store, there's 1,000 things for Mother's Day and packaged really nice. But for fathers, man, it's
Smallest
like just like loose items and not really
Yeah.
like, so that's why I started it. But I kind of wanted to ask you a question, just even for me, how much of an impact did your parents' divorce have on you?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I think no matter what age, it happened when I was older. I was in my teens, but I don't think it matters what age, because, it affects you just the same as if you were 5 years old, 10 years old. So I think recognizing that you will have, issues that come about from that separation, because your parents are your foundation. Yeah. Your programming comes from your parents. So when they split, that's a major effect in your life, emotionally, mentally. And to be honest, I didn't even recognize the issues that I carried from that divorce until like recently.
Yeah.
But to understand that, the separation for me led to an abandonment issue.
Yeah.
From that, for me, was an attachment issue and a commitment issue in my relationships. And when I recognized that, I was able to have the right conversations. I was able to do the inner work with myself and, resolve the separation that I went through, because it's a traumatic experience for everybody involved in the family. And you have to heal from that. And when you're fully healed and whole and restored, you're like a brand new person. You're a new program with no virus.
Yeah.
And now it's up to you to download whatever program that will improve your
like
functionality
that.
in life.
That's cool. Like, have you ever gone to your parents and spoken to them about like how it's affected you, or was it only like recently?
Yeah, it's recent.
Okay.
It's been recent. So when I was able to identify that there's a lot of issues inside me that had stemmed from my childhood and from the separation, it's made me aware of a lot of things, that habits and lifestyles that it has led me to. And when I had those conversations in an open, honest, transparent manner, it's improved the relationships that I had with my mother and my father. And it allowed me to hear their side of the story, because a lot of times they don't go into details of why that separation happened. There's a lot of things, years and decades of stuff that's happened. It's they call it wound by 1,000 cuts, so to uncover all of that to your children, it's not even fair. But when you understand their perspective and you have that understanding of why it all happened, and that happened probably for the greater good for the family,
Yeah.
and for them individually, you find acceptance, you find forgiveness, and then from there you can heal.
Yeah.
Both yourself and the family.
True. How much of an impact is it having a brother, Ian, in your life in terms of people who only have like one child? Do you think having a brother helped you live life in a more secure way, or let's just say something like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you also have family, big family. I just have my brother, but having my brother in my life has been one of my biggest blessings. And shout out to Ian.
Yeah, and I love that guy. He's amazing.
He's been with Fit Factory, the whole 12 years, and he's still helping us out today. I love him to death. Anything that happens in life, who do you go to first?
Yeah.
Your family, right?
Totally.
They're the first ones you rely on. So it's great to have a sibling that you can count on, have the hard conversations with. And sometimes they hold you accountable and they call you out. And they know you better than anybody else. And having that accountability check is one of the greatest things. So it's good. It's good to have.
You think your life would be different if you were an only child?
Oh, it would be a mess. I would only rely on parents or friends and myself. And nowadays, social media is where people get a lot of their information and knowledge.
Yeah.
So you would just be a wandering fish.
Seriously, that's too funny, man. Yeah, it was honestly really nice when I first started with you guys working at your company, and like just seeing your brother work there and you there, and just like a very family united place. So a lot of morals and values that you guys instilled within the company that kind of, reflected on the clients who came. It was awesome. It's pretty wicked.
Thanks.
Yeah.
When are we going to see you back?
Man, I don't even think I would be able to do a class. I would get rocked if I did like a boot camp. I picked up swimming for a bit. We have a pool in the condo, and I was doing like basically 45 minutes of swimming.
Right.
Just because of mobility. Sometimes I'm like, I know muscle burns fat, and that's what you typically want, but sometimes I just value mobility and just being able to move my joints, especially getting out of bed, sleeping for so long, and when I move. But I don't know. It was one day where I just didn't want to go, and then I haven't gone since.
Okay.
And I need to get out of that, but maybe we'll do a guest appearance at Fit Factory.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, man.
The family will be happy to see you.
So how is it even right now having two places to manage and having your daughter? Just true facts. Is it like, how difficult is it, and how do you manage? Is it a time management thing?
Time management, discipline, consistency. I understand the importance of being fully present. 100% focus, no distractions in any given task, any given meeting, any given conversation that I'm having now, and having intentions behind each thing that I do every single day. I think when you understand time is the greatest resource that we have, and it's one that's fleeing in every single moment, you appreciate time more, and the time that you have with your children, 100% present, 100% focus, and the times when I put towards my business is 100% there. And I think that's how you got to look at managing, your schedule and your time. We all have the same 24 hours.
Yeah, of course.
So you all got stuff to do, are you scrolling on your phone for 15 minutes? Then all of a sudden you're 45 minutes in, and you've just lost an hour of your day. Or are you manageable of like, okay, I'm only going to check my phone for 5 minutes because I have this break. And then that's it. And then now when you have your kid, you're with your kid, you're 100% focused, phone away. At dinners with your children, do you have your phone beside you, or are you 100% intentional, focused on having, a meal with your children?
Elise tells me all the time, you cannot have the phone. If you need to use your phone, just leave the dinner table and then come back.
Great.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. Like, we say a lot of the things we want to do, and then sometimes
it slips.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. And it's a reminder. I try to remind myself, and that's why I'm trying to document and write things in my book of just the experiences. And it's nice to get a reality check and think about how they look at you. Are they seeing you with your phone all the time? Like, I feel guilty, and it's like a horrible thing, right? So
I have to remind myself too.
Yeah.
And we've all seen that Instagram reel where they show the dad and the mom on the phone.
That's the one.
Versus the same moment without the phone and how they interact. So having that image in my head, remembering, like when I'm on my phone, I have to be very aware, of how much time I'm spending on it with my kids around.
Does Penelope, like, is she in the like iPad stage? Is she?
Yeah. She's got her iPad. She likes to watch Netflix. The cartoons in the car. She's starting to hit up YouTube now.
Oh, so seeing tutorials.
She knows how to move things around, which is incredible. But yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. What about?
Not yet. She's much younger than Penelope. She just turned 3.
Yeah.
I think we said at like 5 we would let her.
Okay.
It's just been working for us. Listen, we don't judge anybody what they're doing. For us, we haven't needed to pull that card yet.
Right.
So just like even with food and stuff, she's eating great. There's no reason. Like, we just got her to eat ice cream recently. On her 3rd birthday, she had ice cream. So the fact that we were able to
hold it for 3 years.
It's well Elise. Done. Elise, full credit to Elise. She was very, cognitive of, what she needed to do for her to just be successful later in life, and just planting the seed now for later, and it's working out. And being hard will make it easy later. The hard things now will just temporary, right? So, but for me, it's more of how managing a business and how to try to kind of move that away on times when, like, let's say Sophia's sleeping, and try to do it then. It's a work in progress. We try to get better every day at it.
You guys are doing amazing.
Yeah, we're trying, man. We're trying. It's hard, and we even saying as a joke, we can never have 2 kids, man. It's just, and that's why I asked you a lot of the questions about how does it feel having a brother, and because I don't think we will have another kid. I guess you'll just have to have friends and cousins to spend time with, but even the mental, emotional capital, financial capital of having a second child is tough too. Do you have parents still living or not? Can they help you? All these things. Too many variables, and a lot of people have different variables. So that's why, you can't really always compare yourself to others in their situation, right?
Think God has a plan.
God always has a plan, definitely.
So you can only control so much.
Yeah.
Just do your best.
Yeah.
Every single day.
But it's exciting. Like, I picture Sophia being an older girl, and just like you, Penelope, and how much of a bond we'll have. And like, I hope to work it so that, you're her best friend and hang out with her. And I know there's a fine line between parenthood and being, a friend, but to have your kid want to hang out with you, I think I heard a doctor say that's the best gift you can ask for.
Sure.
Right. So,
and being girl dads, just
man,
amazing.
It's next level. It's truly, I always wanted a girl,
Yeah.
and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just felt that was a connection that you would never have unless you were a girl dad.
For sure.
And it hits different, man. You know it.
Yeah.
It hits different. I want to be soft with her, and I also want to teach her, not to take shit from anybody. I know she's only 3, but like soon I want to bring her in for a little boxing class with you guys and just let her like hold her own.
For sure.
And I think she is like that. She's very strong.
Yeah.
And I love it because it scares me what this world is like and the future of what this world is going to be like. And I want her to be able to, like I said, just hold her own ground. And, we're guys, so we know the tricks that some guys play, and I want her to be able to catch them and, put them in their place. I know she's only 3, like give me a break. But these are the things that sometimes it worries me,
Yeah.
And that's why health, for me, I'm trying to make it a priority because you want to be there for them. You're working now for later, extend your lifespan so that you can be there for her.
For sure.
Right.
For sure. You got to be that role model. She's got to see that, hey, daddy's putting time in the swimming pool, working on his fitness, working on his mobility so that he could be there for me, coach me, teach me how to play sports, introduce her to all the sports that she can, she's willing to try. It also helps them, with confidence, self-esteem,
Totally,
especially with girls.
Yeah.
And,
I love that like women's sport is finally, not saying it's not recognized by the media, but now it's really being on the forefront of media. And I hope that it will change more in a positive direction when our girls get older, that, it's not such a crazy gap between men's sport and women's sport. Right. So
our girls got it.
Yeah.
With that's like us, they'll be fine.
Totally, man.
Yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah.
And I love this quote where a son is a woman's first love.
Yeah, something like that.
No, a son is a mother's last love.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that.
A father's the daughter's first love.
I love it.
And that special bond, it's amazing. It's incredible.
I know.
And we both get to share that. What a blessing.
I know. It's sick, man. I love it,
What
man.
a
It's
blessing.
like I would have never known. For me, it's crazy because like when I joined your company, I was at like the lowest of my lows, and I joined as an employee, met so many people. Fitness changed my life there. Worked out. It was just a different type of workout, man. Like prior to Fit Factory Fitness, I would be just a gym guy working just weights, not really mobility, not much of the boot camp style that you guys have where you're doing lunges and burpees and a lot of full mobility. And my body changed into something that it wasn't and never experienced. It was like breaking in a new body.
Great.
And even just the coaching and the mentality of being surrounded by positive people was just like next level. And little did I know I would meet my wife and then have a daughter. And this is where I am here. And it's just like it all came together and healed itself. It's just wild. It's crazy to stand with you here, like just talking about parenthood and stuff. So it is definitely wild, the positive things that come out of the gym.
Absolutely.
And even community of gym. You can go to the gym anywhere.
Yeah.
But coming to Fit Factory was just a different style of community that you would not get at, a Good Life Fitness where you're in and out. Mm-hmm. You're not talking to anybody. You have headphones on and where, a lot of the members root for you and they're cheering you on. And it's crazy, man.
Yes.
I definitely suggest anybody who has not gone to Fit Factory to check it out. I don't know if you guys still do those day passes or we'll have to do some sort of promo code where they can come check it out for at least a class and change their life, man.
For sure.
Because once you're in, you're locked in. Man.
Hey.
Right?
Let's go.
Let's
get you back
man.
in. Let's get you back in.
Yeah,
Let's
I'd
get
love
Elise
to,
back
man.
in.
I know. It was crazy. I was just living outside of Fit Factory. I was in King and John. It was a walkable distance. Now I'm just like, how do I even go to the gym? And it's literally located downstairs. So again, it's a mental thing, man, that you just kind of have to break out of. And just like anything, it's a mental thing. Stop comparing yourself to others. Focus on what you have. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I say, yeah, we live in a 1-bedroom, but some people don't even have electricity. Some people are like, their kid is sick. So it's like, choose your battles. I'd rather live in a 1-bedroom actually than have to live in a hospital, for example. So
Great. I love
Remind
that.
yourself, ground yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can always be worse. And
Yes.
I think those are the exercises you have to do part of your everyday,
Yes.
work out, but work out mentally, right?
It's all framing.
Yeah, man.
It's all about framing. Negative things are going to happen in your life.
Yeah.
Things are going to go out of plan on day to day. But, the time that you turn a negative to positive, what sets you, from an average to a high performer.
Yeah.
And then having that discipline, man. It's discipline. People
It's
say
true.
mindset. We all know how we should think, how we should act, how we should eat. But it's having that discipline.
I think that's a big factor too. Like when I speak on my behalf, I think my relationship with food is not a positive one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are the things that we don't really look at. Like, what's the root of the problem? Why don't I want to go to the gym? Why is the food I eat maybe not fueling me? Maybe it's the food. Maybe that's where it's rooted from. My food is maybe not the greatest quality, and that's causing me, not to want to wake up in the morning, et cetera, et cetera. But do you have any goals, any future goals that you have for yourself now that, you're a father of a girl who's 5? Do your goals change? What's cooking? What's on the forefront of things?
Yeah. So I did my first run with Penelope. I introduced her to running. I got into running after COVID. I did my first marathon, and she was there cheering for me. And that's the greatest experience.
That's awesome.
As a dad to, have your kids hold a sign and cheer for you. So this year I introduced her to running, and I signed her up for a 1 kilometer
Wicked.
race, and it was awesome. I got to run with her. I'll love to keep exploring sports and opportunities for her in the physical aspect to see what she likes and participate with her and do it with her. She loves swimming, so I've put her through years of swimming
Awesome.
with Amy.
Wicked.
From Fit Factory.
Shout out to Amy.
Shout out to Amy.
Yeah.
And I love to just keep growing as a father.
Yeah.
It's a journey. And, I'm learning, I'm constantly reading books and just becoming better as a person. And I think just progress, just keep moving forward,
Yeah.
look at the wins that happens in your day, stop looking at the L's and turn the L's into lessons and just become better as a person. How do you be of service for others?
So like, how do you prioritize like what you want her to learn? Because like for me, and I know it'll change as they grow. Like even, for example, finance and investing, like personally, and it's not a good thing, I don't know much. I've been guided by my brother and my dad a lot in terms of like how to invest and what to look out for, but I don't really have that in me to pass on to my daughter. And I feel like that is something I want to instill in her to be able to be financially capable of making decisions, because it's an important part of business and in life in general. And like, that's what I mean. Like, how are you supposed to learn and also teach, and what do you teach first? Like, have you ever thought of that stuff?
Yeah. Financial literacy.
Yeah.
Again, one of the things they don't teach you. They don't teach how to be a dad.
Yeah.
Don't teach how to be a husband. You have to learn it the hard way. So I think it's more, your daughter's, Sophia's 3, right? So she's not going to learn financial literature, at the age of 3. But, can you spend the next few years on yourself learning financial literature so that you could pass that on? And they say when you teach something, you get to relearn.
Yeah.
And you actually learn it better. So I think we have to start, doing the work ourselves, as parents, and then figure out how to now teach our next generation. So I think it's also prioritizing, right?
Yeah.
What's important for her as a 3-year-old right now.
That's true, man.
What development does she need right now,
She clearly doesn't need to know economics at the age of 3, right? Yeah, it's very good points, man. And I think that's like one thing we're always like working on ourselves, or at least trying to be able to pass that information to them. And I guess they don't always have to learn it from you, they'll find their ways, hopefully. Yeah. And even if you teach it to them, doesn't mean they're going to listen. We'll, I guess, find out in the future when they start rebelling and get older and stuff like that, and we'll have to be reading different books.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely changed who at least I am as a person before being a dad and now, and even you, like how much have you changed as a businessman before having a kid and now having a daughter?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. The priorities have shifted. You know, before it was just all about yourself, you know, and success in the business and the accomplishments. Now it's, you know, how do you balance that and also being a role model, you know, for your child, and the purpose, you know, the purpose that you have now in your life of leaving a legacy and creating a legacy for your next generation. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Do you feel like I always ask this question because I feel like I have, are you more emotional now that you have had your daughter?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. I'm more aware of my emotions.
Yeah.
And I get to watch her express her emotions. And it's taught me a lot about patience, compassion, love.
Yeah.
And it's a different type of love. You can't explain it.
It's wild, man.
You know, until they're born and they're in your hands in that moment. It's something that, you know, you have to experience to understand what it's like. But yes, definitely more emotional in a good way.
For sure. And I mentioned this like before too. I'm trying to journal.
Yep.
If not every day, every other day, or at least if there's different phases in her life.
Yes.
Or things that come up, like, for example, I hurt my ankle and she put ice on me and it was like, what? You're 3.
So cute.
Like, it was touching. And these are the things that I want to document. And so, have you heard of Moo?
No.
They're a company that do like stationery, business cards, the nicest quality stuff.
Okay.
Very nice quality stuff. So I'm going to release some hardcover notebooks,
Okay.
branded Daddy Day Club. And I don't think I'm going to sell them because they're very expensive. And it's not, but I'm going to get you one. And I'm telling you, man, even if you wrote it on your phone, I really encourage you to, even if it's once a week, you write something down, because one day she's going to go, and if the whole purpose is to give it to them, one day she will have a book of all the feelings you've had. And if they ever had unanswered questions, all answered there, hopefully.
Amazing.
I'm telling you, man, I really hope that, you know, it's your feelings in a book that they can always reflect on. If one day, knock on wood, you're not on this earth anymore, or even if you are on this earth, they have a lifetime of memories that they can just reflect on. So
I love that. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it totally
Thank
will
you
set
for
you
that.
up for sure, man. But yeah, man, it's just crazy, you know, parenthood. Nobody can teach you and tell you what to expect. But I think for me, as I get older too, I get like more emotional with like my parents getting older, and like you see, like life is not all, you know, lollipops and rainbows and stuff. Like they get older, and this is the first time you're seeing them getting older, and scares the shit out of me, man. Like nobody told us life was like this. What? People get sick. You're in the hospital. They can't be with you, and I think that's like the reality check. At least we're still in our 30s, where if you're not on the road to a healthy lifestyle, this is like your calling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want your kids having to put that burden on them even to, and I know that's a cultural thing too, you know, hopefully we'll take our parents in when they get older. But when, you know, you can't lift them up, it becomes a problem. And I don't know, man, my whole like life has shifted seeing parents get older, I guess. Right.
And I think becoming a parent, you realize how much your parents actually love you.
Totally.
You start to understand the level of love and sacrifice that they give for you. So the appreciation for your parents and you being a parent is just a different level once you have a child. But it's beautiful.
It's definitely something that you can't explain, because I always, in the back of my mind, do have these questions like, was having a kid the right thing to do? What would have my life been without one? And, you know, people always have their own decisions on why they do things, but it's crazy. One of the main reasons why I wanted to have a kid is I actually just wanted to see what she'd look like. And it's exactly like more than I ever imagined her being. Just little mini you. It's wild, man. Even Penelope, beautiful, man. She's like your miniature you, bro. It's wild.
It's crazy how genetics, right? And biology can just combine, take the best of the two parents and slap them together. And here's your child. It's even just the whole giving birth, right? Like
that was
you
a wild
remember
experience.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, unreal. And you don't really become a father until that moment.
Yeah.
You know, mentally, you're like, "Ah, I'm preparing for it. You know, it's fulfilled you with purpose." But like, it isn't until that moment you're like, holy crap,
Yeah.
I'm a dad now.
That's it.
You know, like it's no longer about me. It's about this little human being.
That's it.
And it's the most beautiful thing. So,
And that's exactly it. Like even now, like when I eat and stuff, before, man, if I wanted to like, eat a pizza, I eat a pizza. Now I got to think, oh God, like, you know, and I know it's in balance and I know that's my problem to think like that. But like my mindset has shifted so much
Yeah.
after having my daughter in
Yeah.
terms of like, what, what am I doing now that will affect life later for
Yeah.
her and stuff. So
Yeah.
it is a crazy ride, man. And I like it. I like bringing on guests to kind of get your perspective because that's the problem with being a father. Like you don't know what other people are feeling and if they're feeling the same thing as you. Are you an outcast in thinking the way like, oh my God, is it taboo to say like, oh, sometimes I regret being a parent or I didn't know like, you know, like if Penelope is sick, who's taking off work? Did are these conversations spoken about prior to? I didn't have a conversation with Elise saying who's taking care of Sophia if we get sick. Sorry, if she gets sick. So, like, are these discussions you ever had? You know what I mean?
we've actually never had these discussions. I think for both of us, we are parents, so whoever can tackle it will tackle it, and if both of us can be there, we'll be there. I've always been there whenever Penelope's gotten sick. You know, whatever time that my daughter's ever needed from me, I've always given to her. I've never missed, you know,
Yeah.
any parent, school, teacher interviews, concerts, rehearsals. I've always been there, and it's the best thing you can give your child.
Yeah.
Is the time. And that's all they really want from you. You know,
It's true. They don't care how much money is in your bank account and stuff. They don't know. Yeah.
They don't know.
There's a saying, and I don't really remember it, but work will never remember all those times you've worked
Oh,
overtime
yes.
versus, you know, your kids like special events and stuff like that. So it's always just a reminder, and you know,
Yeah.
that's what you got to do. Just remind yourself. Sometimes I feel like putting Post-it notes all over my house to remind me of things.
Do it.
Like, you know what I mean? You got this. Like, things will always work out. Like, because I fill sometimes in my mind with a lot of negative thoughts and ideas. And sometimes you just need to be reminded that things are good. You know what I mean?
Do whatever you need to
Yeah.
remind yourself. Post-it notes,
Yeah.
journaling, you know, watching any type of videos that you need to rewatch, books and chapters that you got to reread, you know. But at the end of the day, don't beat yourself up, man.
For sure.
Don't beat yourself up. I feel like there's so much emphasis on like what we don't have,
I agree.
you know, what we're not.
Yeah.
And it's like life is a journey. Fatherhood is a journey, you know. Us as a man, like we're going through our own journey.
Of course.
Appreciate the moment.
The ride.
Appreciate the
It's
ride.
the ride that's always it's the ride that's the fun part. It's not getting to your goal of whatever that may be. It's that journey that takes you there.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. But one thing that really stood out when I was reading is when you have your like kid, usually women will always have like follow-up appointments with their doctors, but men, we don't. So we kind of we don't take care of our mental health, and it's kind of, we should go see a doctor after being a father. Like I suggest anyone who's a new father, go see your doctor and just make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Right. Because there are no check-ins with you unless you make that appointment. Whereas women, they need to go because even physically they need to go get checked up.
Yeah.
So usually they will answer those questions.
Yeah.
How are you doing mentally, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a lot of resources for men that should be used. And, you know, some might not want to use it for stigma reasons or whatever the case, but, you know, we have to be there for our kids. So I think it's always important to make sure we are on point.
Yeah.
Because it'll be downhill from there if you're not.
For sure. And to touch on mental health, like I think women are so expressive with their feelings and emotions, and men are not because we've been raised and taught to keep everything inside. And I don't think that is correct. I think you do need a tribe of, you know, a brotherhood,
Yeah.
you know, a group of dads that you can rely on and talk to and count on and have those conversations, in a safe space. So I think, any new dads, make sure you're part of some type of dad group
Of course.
that you can rely on. Because, you'll be surprised the type of help that you get just by asking the question, just by reaching out. And it just takes that one phone call, that one text message to say, hey, can I get your advice on something? And it opens up a whole conversation and connection and network. So as men, you got to do that.
Yeah.
Don't rely on yourself. You got to be resourceful.
Of course.
Be relentless.
Fair enough. What's that?
This is a gift I got for you.
Get out.
It's from Ryan Holiday, which is one of my favorite offers. The Daily Dad, Daily Meditations and Stoicism
Oh, dope.
on how to be a loving parent and raise great kids. So I got this for you.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Ryan Holiday, guys. Wicked, man. Definitely have to check it out. I haven't honestly done any real reading on the topic of dad stuff.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I think this would be really helpful, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Another book, Strong Father, Strong Daughter
Oh, I like it.
by Dr. Megan Walker.
Crazy.
That's another great book.
Okay. I'll look into it. It's funny, man. I kind of want to come out with a kid's book.
Hey.
I really want to do it. It's just another thing to add on, but I really want to focus on how, I know cultures change and shift. And I was telling a previous guest, Jay Jackson, that I want to kind of highlight how when we were born, our parents take care of us and how the roles shift as they get older. We are taking care of them and, kind of remind, I know, again, it's a cultural thing, but we should be taking care of our parents as they get older because it's like we switch roles. In the beginning, we're born in a hospital, and kind of at the end of someone's life, we're taking our parents to the hospitals for check-ins and stuff like that. So I kind of want to bring a little of my Middle Eastern culture and come out with an illustration book and stuff like that.
Yes.
So that'd be kind of cool. But
Do it.
I know we have a few minutes, and I always leave last two questions.
Okay.
Same for everybody. The first one is, if you could suggest somebody to be on this podcast, who do you think would be a good person to bring on?
Great question for the Daddy Day Club.
Yeah, from someone from your circle who you think is just a great person to interview.
I think David McQuaid from Fit Factory. He's, father of 3 kids. I think he went back to back to back. So he's managing 3 kids. He's also a partner at Fit Factory.
Got it. I didn't know he was a dad.
Yeah.
I met him. I know him.
Yeah. Great, solid dad. And he's a great father. I think he'll be worth coming in here and sharing his advice.
Okay, we'll set it up.
Father of 1 is challenging enough.
Yeah,
Imagine being a father of 3.
Oh, God.
Back to back to back.
Yeah. That's what I mean, man. It takes a special person to be able to do that. Good on you, man.
Yeah.
Shout outs, David.
Yes.
Second question. The second question I usually ask is, if you could have anybody perform at your wedding, who would it be? Artist, dead or alive?
Ooh, that's a great question. I singer,
Anybody,
artist.
any artist.
Okay. I really enjoyed my Norah Jones concert. I went to my first concert by myself just a couple months ago.
Why do I feel like Norah Jones? I've heard her on CBC or something. Is she an artist?
Yeah, she's
a
an
singer?
artist. I don't think she's Canadian, but she's a Grammy Award winning jazz.
Oh, cool.
Slow music. I've always loved her. She would be.
All right, so that wedding's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
with Norah Jones.
It's not lit. I don't know if
I'm
it's
kidding.
lit.
I'm kidding.
But it'll be a chill vibe. Or Michael Bublé.
Oh, wow. You want to hear a funny story, man? We
Yeah.
did send Michael Bublé a Daddy Day Club package, so we'll see if he ends up.
Let's get the bubbly water in here.
Yeah, I
on
know,
set.
man. I know. We're trying. I'm actually trying to work out a deal with Joe Hurst.
He'll be a great dad.
Oh, Michael Bublé?
Yeah,
He already
on
is a
set.
dad. He's a dad. Yeah. That guy, man, he does it all.
Yeah.
And I don't know how these guys do it, but
Yeah.
good on them.
Yeah, he'll be great. Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé, if you're watching this, buddy, got to get you on the podcast. Got to get you to support the Daddy Day Club.
Yeah,
But they're a nice team, man. I sent it to Bruce Allen Management. That's the management team.
Okay.
So it took me a year to get them to finally accept it, but we did it. So
Amazing. I love
we'll
how
see.
resourceful you are. Just
I'm trying, man. I really want to spread just, the
Yeah.
whole Daddy Day Club stuff. For me, it was, I wanted to be proud of being a dad. It was a new transition being
For
a dad.
sure.
And you know what? It was like a cool factor. I wanted something subtle to tell people I'm a dad.
Yeah.
And a cool one too, man. Like, you know?
Sophia's got the coolest dad.
Yeah,
She doesn't even
appreciate
know,
that, man.
you know?
Yeah.
But we have it on record now.
Yeah.
Sophia, you got the
That's
coolest
it,
dad.
man. Ivan, appreciate you being here, man. It was great to
Thank
have
you for all the work that you do.
Yeah, no,
you know?
thank you, man. Keeping us all fit. And
Yes.
we'll definitely have to
Yes.
come and do a class with you.
No dad bod.
No dad bod. It's hard, man. It's hard. But hopefully with consistency and like you said, discipline, we can challenge those dads to just, even if it's a small change in their life, to
It's both physical and mental.
yeah.
And it's a challenge that we should embrace.
Yeah.
You know,
So maybe we'll pick a month one day and we'll make our own awareness day, and you know,
Daddy Day Club workout for all
we
the
gotta
past
do
guests
that.
and
Yeah,
future
yeah.
guests.
We'll do that. I'm telling you, and you know what? If we ever have any athletes coming in, I know we might have AJ Ramos coming in,
Sweet.
former major league pitcher
Cool.
from LA. We'll have to bring them. That would be cool. Bring them into Fit Factory.
Let's go.
That would be dope. Let's do it up,
go.
man.
Let's
Awesome,
do it up.
brother. Appreciate you, man. Thanks again, man.
Awesome.